What's up? It's your boy Bearded Banker back with another video, and today I want to discuss something that's a little bit more nuanced in regards to this business. And whether you work with me for your mortgage or another loan officer, it may help to have this kind of perspective as you go through your particular process. I've been doing this about 8 years now, and my experience has taught me a lot. But one of the things that goes unseen, definitely from a client's perspective, is the amount of influence you as the client have over your mortgage experience as a whole. And what I mean by that is us as loan officers and our teams behind the scenes, like our processors and our underwriters, are only as good as our clients allow us to be. So basically, a smooth mortgage process starts with you. The earlier you reach out to us, the more prepared you are in your personal life, the more organized you are in general with your finance and your documents to begin with, really determines how much of a superstar I can be and my team can be to push your process through smoothly from application to the closing table. I'm sure this is true for people in other industries as well, definitely realtors. But feel free to comment or share this video if it is in your particular industry. And so, what am I talking about? I have a lot of clients that make great money, right? Entrepreneurs, business owners, even professionals like doctors and attorneys. And what tends to happen for these super well off people, and I use that term loosely just to demonstrate my point, the mortgage process for them can actually be harder and more frustrating than someone who doesn't make the kind of money that they make. Now, this isn't across the board. There's exceptions to the rule. Obviously, things will vary and be very difficult if you make no money and have no savings and you're trying to buy a house. But what I mean is that the very well off people have a lot more going on. They have more bank accounts, more streams of income, probably side businesses, and even other properties that they already own. So, documenting all of that can be frustrating, on top of the fact that they probably don't claim the income they actually make. And they tend to be, I don't know if this is a trait of successful people, but they tend to be a little bit more unorganized. I can't tell you how many times I had a very, well off client tell me their buddy down the street just closed on a mortgage in 30 days and didn't have to jump through all of these hoops. And their buddy doesn't make a quarter of the income they do, and so on. And here's the perspective that I want to offer, obviously, the conversation I have with them. Things are different for everyone, right? And this is a life lesson too, not just in my example. You can't compare your process, your experience to someone else's. That person who makes less money than our well off person may have a much smoother mortgage process because they only have one W 2 job. They don't have extra side businesses. They probably only have one savings account and maybe a 401k with all of their money in it. And because they don't make the kind of money our more successful person does, they're a hawk when it comes to their finances, right? Constantly looking at it, constantly checking their credit, keeping all of their documents organized. Whereas our well off client makes plenty of money, so they don't keep a magnifying glass on it. They don't necessarily care about their credit score because they can afford everything that they want or need cash. They have money all over the place just because they have that much money. So they're moving it around, trying different things, putting it everywhere. And they're probably doing everything they can to show as little on their tax returns as far as income as possible so they don't get murdered on their tax bill. Then they come to me and say, Danny, this is insane. I can pay the mortgage off right now or by the end of the year if I wanted to. And that's true, and I understand where they're coming from, but the underwriters and government guidelines don't necessarily care. If on paper it looks different, or you take forever to get me the documents I need because you're running your business, or you took a huge loss 2 years ago on paper and now we need your CPA involved to write letters for you, which we don't have to do for our other client because you don't have a boss or an HR department that we can just call and verify your income like our W 2 client does. And all of this can be frustrating and time consuming, especially if your loan officer doesn't work with you as early as possible and set realistic expectations for your experience. So don't think the mortgage horror stories you hear necessarily apply to you, for one, and on the flip side, don't think it'll be a walk in the park if you make a ton of money. It's very different for everyone, and the sooner we can get on the same page, the smoother your experience will be, so we can prepare for these things that might come up as hurdles, especially with the end of the year rolling around for my self-employed people, and starting to tax plan for next year. This is the time to do it. Either way, I'm here for you to help guide you and get you ready, whether it's your first home or your 10th home and you're an investor, so we can make this process as seamless and as stress-free as possible. As always, hit me up if you have any questions. Stay focused, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.